This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917.
This week we're on the beautiful island of Inagua, and we're going in quest of our golden bird, the Inagua Woodstar.
The islands of the Bahamas. Let's go birding.
Like a scattered string of pearls strewn across a cobalt blue plate, the islands of the Bahamas stretch from their most northerly point in the Abacos south to Andros and Inagua, across 500 miles of the Caribbean Sea. As the site of Columbus's first landfall in the Americas, the Bahamas have a long and storied history. With over 2,000 islands and keys, the Bahamas are home to some of the best beaches, diving, fishing and birding in the world. Join us on a fascinating three-part series on the endemic birds of the Bahamas. From the Inagua Woodstar to the Abaco Parrot to the Bahama Oriole of Andros, join us as we discover the amazing bird life, natural beauty, culture, people and food across this pristine and biodiverse island chain. Home to over 80,000 flamingos, the national bird of the Bahamas, Inagua is a haven for birdwatchers. Along with the flamingos, birding enthusiasts will find over 140 species of native and migratory birds, making Inagua the birdwatching capital of the Bahamas. Join us as local Bahamian guide Casper Burrows shares his experience and knowledge, helping us find our golden bird for this episode, the Inagua Woodstar. Let's go birding.
We getting breakfast together, man. You know, we got early morning, so.
I have sheep tongue, pig feet, and chicken wing, but I'm doing some conch.
Pig's feet sauce.
I know what I'm getting. Sheep tongue, right?
One sheep tongue for you.
Really tasty, huh?
The national bird of the Bahamas is the American or Caribbean flamingo, and there's no better place to see this bird than on Great Inagua Island in the Bahamas. It's an incredible success story. In the 1950s, there were only about 5,000 of these birds left in the Bahamas. And through the efforts of the National Audubon Society in the United States and the Bahamas National Trust, these birds have staged a wonderful comeback. And today, 60 to 70,000 of these flamingos can be found on Inagua Island in the Bahamas.
Right now we are standing on North Dam. The property behind us is actually owned by Morton Salt, but is very much used by the flamingos.
Morton Salt actually pumps water off the ocean, about 125,000 gallons of seawater per minute off the ocean into Lake Rosa or Lake Windsor. That water is circulated through the reservoir system and then brought into crystallizers, where the salt naturally precipitates from the seawater, falls on the bottom of the crystallizers, and then we use huge equipment to go in and harvest the salt. Morton Salt makes about slightly more than 1 million tons of salt per year. It's used all across the world for de-icing. It's used in the chemical industries. Anything conceivable that is made by man, salt is used somewhere in the process. It's a peaceful feeling to see the flamingos and all the other birds flourish in the reservoir system.
Back in the early 1900s, I guess the island food provisions were very hard, and the flamingos were easy prey for the locals. They would go into the nesting colonies, fire off a couple shots, kill a few birds, and the panic it would create would probably kill the next 1,000 or so. Everybody was depending on it as a source of food, so that kind of wiped the numbers out almost completely. Audubon sent some guys down in the early 50s to the Caribbean to try to protect the flamingos. So then they formed the Society for the Conservation of the West Indian Flamingos. So then we fast forward ahead about 50 plus years now. The population on Inagua is approximately 60,000-70,000 flamingos. So I think we have brought the flamingos back from the brink of extinction to great numbers today.
Inagua is the place to be.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917.
And sponsored in part by Manfrotto, complete solutions for photographers and videographers. Visit manfrotto.us. And by Pelagic Polarized Sunglasses.
And by the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and the Islands of the Bahamas. Birding is better in the Bahamas.
The residents of Matthewtown open their doors to all guests, including guests of the feathered variety. One of the first things that I noticed when looking at the burrowing owls on Inagua is that they look much paler than the burrowing owls that we get in Florida. This one individual behind me has actually got a very, very pale head, and they're much lighter in color. Any piece of open land on Inagua is prime real estate for burrowing owls. There have to be literally thousands of these birds on the island. We didn't quite expect to find them in one of the more unusual hangouts though, the cemetery. Quite a spooky place, eh, Casper?
Not so spooky. You know, when I was young growing up, us boys being mischievous, playing around town at night, this is where I'd come so nobody could catch me.
Because nobody else would come in the cemetery?
Nobody else would come in the graveyard. And I've seen grown man walk 5 minutes more just to avoid walking the road passing the graveyard. It's a nice place.
These burrowing owls have been here the whole time?
Yeah, the burrowing owls don't bother you. The people in here, they don't bother you.
The graves in the cemetery are really convenient sites for the burrowing owls to make their burrows underneath. And there are several families here in this small cemetery, all with fluffy little babies that come out and puff themselves up, and they're really, really comical the way they play around. The coastline of Inagua holds unfathomable beauty. This rocky shoreline is home to white-tailed tropic birds. We've got probably about 10 of them right now, circling behind me. Those beautiful white streamer tails and those bright orange bills. These birds actually nest on the rocky shoreline of Inagua. What a stunning place with some absolutely stunning birds. The Bahama race of the Cuban parrot, otherwise known as the Bahama parrot, used to be found on 7 islands in the Bahamas. Today, it's only found in reliable numbers on 2, on Abaco and here on Inagua. The Inagua parrots are very different in their nesting habits to the ones that are found on Abaco, because here on Inagua, they nest in trees, whereas the parrots on Abaco, strangely, nest right in the ground. Several thousand Bahama parrots can be found on Inagua, and the best place to look for them is right around the urban areas of Matthewtown. The scientific name for this parrot is Amazona leucocephala, which means the Amazon with the white head. And it's very distinctive when you see these parrots sitting on top of a tree feeding with that beautiful white head and these lovely, lovely blue wing bars, which you'll see very prominently when the bird flies. The habitats on Inagua are pretty unique. Starting from the coast, you get the rocky shoreline, and then further inland, you get the mangrove swamps, and then the habitat changes into white land coppice. And this is the habitat that we're standing in right now. As you get further inland from the white land coppice, you get black land coppice. And this habitat here makes it really, really unique. and really attractive to a whole wonderful suite of birds. This is awesome. We've got a Bahama Mockingbird sitting right up on top of this sea grape. This is a really nice example of a bird which looks very similar to the northern mockingbird, but is slightly larger and has got more streaking on the flanks, and also it's more of a sort of overall palish wash and not as distinct and crisp in its coloration as the northern mockingbird. Any other differences?
And you also notice that at the end of the tails, you see all of the tail feathers have white tips, whereas on the northern mockingbird, the two outside feathers are all white.
White all the way down, right.
You notice he also has the streaking coming right down from the chin, all the way down.
Beautiful
Whereas the
bird.
northern mockingbird we have here is just all white underneath.
So Bahama Mockingbird is a little bit of a misnomer because it's not endemic to the Bahamian Islands. It's also found in the Turks and the Caicos, it's found in Cuba, and it's also found in a tiny part of Jamaica called the Hellshire Hills. But still, a very regional endemic, only found on those few Caribbean islands, and very nice to see right here in the Bahamas. And a lot of birders that live in Florida will actually be familiar with the Bahama Mockingbird because it is quite a regular vagrant to the Florida mainland, and at least once every other year a Bahama Mockingbird will show up somewhere in South Florida. What a great bird. Really nice to see that Bahama Mockingbird. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks, Casper. That's a great sighting. One of the conservation threats facing the Bahama Mockingbird is actually the northern mockingbird, its counterpart, because northern mockingbirds will sometimes outcompete Bahama mockingbirds in certain areas. And this is happening with regularity on the island of Cuba, for example. Well, an awesome bird, the Bahama Mockingbird. Let's see what else this wonderful island has in store for us.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917, and by the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and the islands of the Bahamas. Birding is better in the Bahamas.
One of the first things that strike you when you're birding on Inagua is how different even the common birds look. Right now I'm looking at an osprey, and it's very different to the ospreys that we get in Florida, because this osprey is the Caribbean race, or Ridgway's race of osprey, and it's got a very white head with almost no black line through the eye. And it looks as though these ospreys are slightly bigger in size as well compared to the ospreys that we get in North America. Even the American kestrels on the island here look very different. They seem to be a little bit more chunky, and they've got this plain, soft white underbelly. Inagua has an extensive network of both saltwater and freshwater ponds, and these ponds are home to two specialty species of ducks, the Bahama or white-cheeked pintail and the West Indian whistling duck. It's not just the birding that makes Inagua so incredible, but also the diving and the snorkeling. And the wonderful thing is that you can go from 3 feet to 3,000 feet in just 100 yards. Let's see what we can see.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917.
And sponsored in part by Manfrotto, complete solutions for photographers and videographers. Visit manfrotto.us and buy pelagic polarized sunglasses.
And by the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and the Islands of the Bahamas. Birding is better in the Bahamas.
This morning, we're waiting for the most special bird of Inagua, the Inagua Woodstar, to show up at Brensville Suites in Matthewtown on Great Inagua. Casper, tell me about this place.
Okay, well, Brensville Suite is a small guest house on the island. The owner-operator, Cynthia Harris, has beautified the place with a lot of plants, mostly native plants, like the national flower of the Bahamas, the yellow elder, one of which the Inagua Woodstar loves. The hotel itself is surrounded by plants, and it's just one of the birding hotspots here on the island. So if you stay here, you can wake up with the birds, you can go sleep with the birds.
And it's quite amazing, Inagua Woodstar, you often think of a rare endemic bird, very hard to see. You normally expect to go to a really remote place, but here, right in Matthewtown, you guys are seeing this bird.
Right around Matthewtown.
All right, well, let's hope that the Inagua Woodstar shows up this morning for a very special treat.
All right, so this is the tree I was telling you about, the noni tree. You see the little white flower right here on the fruit coming out?
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the favorites of the Inagua Woodstar. So anywhere around town you see one of these, sit down and wait a few minutes. You're gonna get yourself an Inagua Woodstar. Okay, there's a male now, right on the yellow flower.
Oh, beautiful.
Right there.
Yeah. Awesome. I've got a male Inagua Woodstar flying around these elder flowers. Wow, look at him hovering there. This is amazing. What's incredible about the Inagua Woodstar is that it was previously thought to be a subspecies of the Bahama Woodstar, another Bahamian endemic. But on recent evidence, in 2015, it's been classified as an entirely separate species, found only on Great Inagua in the Bahamas. The forehead of the crown in the Inagua Woodstar has the iridescence, and on the Bahama Woodstar it doesn't. And also the tail of the Inagua Woodstar is more deeply forked. And then there's also a difference in voice, right? In call.
Yeah, the call is different.
While watching this male Inagua Woodstar, we've noticed some very interesting behavior. Because its bill is relatively short, it can't get deep into these little yellow flowers. So what the hummingbird is actually doing is the male is piercing the base of the flower to get at the nectar. A shortcut to getting at that sweet, sweet goodness.
James, we got it.
What?
Jackpot. Remember you was asking me about filling in the nest? Surprise. It's right there.
Oh, there's the little nest. Look at that. Wow, those eggs are tiny, hey? The size of my fingernail.
Very small eggs, yeah.
Wow. So she's got 2 eggs in there.
2 eggs in here.
And tell me the story about this pair. You were telling me that you actually saw them displaying a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we were just doing our birding in the hotspot, and I just saw the male doing the dance and the female was there watching, and I was able to get a good look at him and figured out there's some mating ritual or something going on. That was wonderful.
Wow. Let's see if we can get some incredible footage of this female Inagua Woodstar on the nest. So Casper, tell me what the nests are made out of.
It looks like just made out of some soft leaves and a lot of spider web or cottony-like material. And you'll see the females coming back and forth with the little patches of the fuzzy stuff in the mouth and just keeps poking around at it. And if you look at it, sometimes she actually has it kind of closed in to protect the eggs from the wind with all the limbs blowing back and forth.
And she's so tame. I mean, look at her. We're literally probably 4-6 feet from her and she's totally relaxed, just coming and going from the nest.
Yep, she's used to humans now, so she's one of us.
Wow. It's amazing how confident hummingbirds are. They're really confident little birds. They'll come in, they'll get really aggressive when defending their food source, and then at the nest, with people walking around the whole time here at the hotel, she's totally okay with human presence. An incredible species, an endemic of Inagua. Our golden bird for this episode, the Inagua Woodstar. Yes, well played, Casper. Great bird. Join us next week when we continue our adventure in the Bahamian Islands as we journey to the island of Abaco.